That was a brand new Death Angel there for you. Track there played for you was called Fallen. Killer stuff from them, as always. From the album The Dream Calls for Blood. Make sure you pick it up, courtesy of Nuclear Blast Records. I also played some from Excited before that as well. Long Live the Loud. The usual Canadian stuff here in Hard Beyond Driven. And speaking of Canadian, as promised, I have on the line with me from here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Miko Zoller from the Black Cloud Syndicate. Miko, how's it going?
Hey Mike, how's it going, man? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for agreeing to do the interview and being on this show. This is you and I have actually been in collaboration for not very long actually, and decided to do the interview a few weeks ago or so.
Yeah, well, we can thank Steve from Spugor. He turned me on to your program. I mean, obviously, I've heard of it for a long time, but I have to admit, I've been really out of touch with a lot of the online media stuff, and we've been trying to do our homework. And when Steve said, "Yeah, just hit you up," I mean, you say you're an easy guy to talk to. You know, I feel like this is like kind of like, you know, it's our return to the scene, so I kind of feel like the new band again. So I want to thank you, made things real comfortable and easy tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah. How long, if you can tell me, so you can speak up to as loud as you want, just to make sure that everyone's listening out there. How long has the Black Cloud Syndicate been around now?
Technically, we got back together in 2006. Before that, in the 90s, we were a band called Absolute Zero. And with a few, member changes, we have Graham on guitar, who's a longtime friend, and Sean Davidson, who's from Endless from back in the 90s as well. And we're just five friends that's doing our thing now, and I'd say when we really wanted to get together, we were just a four-piece with Graham on bass, and we decided to not let the date 666 go by, June 6th, 2006. So we were lucky enough to get a show together with my brother's band Maniac, Bukkake Catholic, and my other brother's band Two Men Enter, One Man Leaves. So it was a great friends and family night at Sneaky D's. It was a good night to make our return as Absolute Zero, and then we announced the new band name, the Black Cloud Syndicate, kind of reflecting our change, in personnel as well as kind of attitude. We're all doing it for different reasons now too.
Yeah, sounds cool. Yeah, you guys have quite a history. You guys go way back to You guys go back to when I started my show as well. That's why we have a history together, and we just found this out when we first started talking again.
Yeah. No, it's the 90s was a great time in TO. A lot of good bands. We've been fortunate to be part of that scene. We had a couple demos, we had a CD, a couple videos, and actually got some airplay. We had a video that was banned for questionable content, so it was only played on Too Much for Much, if anybody remembers that program on Much Music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think they play videos anymore, we had one chance with that, and it was done by a film student whose name escapes me. I feel really bad. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure we'll post something about that soon. But it got nominated by TVO Ontario for excellence in its craft. Yet Much Music felt the drug content, which it was for a song called Black Wish. It was an anti-drug song, at least a story about a person dealing with drugs, really. And they just felt it was too much for much, so they aired it once, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, we had some real fun with Torn. We sold, I don't know, maybe close to 1,000 across Canada and out of Canada, the U.S. as well as internationally. And we did a couple East Coast tours. Always played some really great shows with a lot of great local bands. You
said you were in Bukkake Catholic, is that what you said?
What's that?
You said you're in a band called Bukkake Catholic?
No, when Absolute Zero made our return to the live stage with 666, we played with Bukkake Catholic.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Maniac, Bukkake Catholic, and Two Men Enter, One Man Leaves.
Okay, yeah.
And Sneaky D's, yeah.
I've heard of them all. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it was a great night, especially for a Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday. But I guess nobody, a lot of bands played that night, I'm sure. Everyone just wanted to be part of the whole 666. And it was very uneventful. Nothing really happened, just a bunch of bands played, and, we all got home safely. So, there you go.
All right, cool. Hey, any chance you can speak up a little bit louder, man?
Yeah, I'm trying, sure.
Okay. Just got to make sure that it sounds okay to everyone out there.
Yeah.
All right, now you guys have an EP out right now, or at least is that something that's in the works right now?
Yeah, the EP's out. You have, I think I sent you some tracks. It's out. It's available on Bandcamp. Go to our Facebook. You can go to our Bandcamp link. Real easy. Everyone knows how to do that now. 5 songs, 5 originals, and 1 cover. We do a cover of Billy Idol's "A Rebel Yell." Kind of punked it up a little bit more, believe it or not. And believe it or not, it was a real hard song to cover. It was real challenging for us, and we hope we did it justice, or at least, presented it, our way, I guess. There's 2 ways to do a cover. What we always say is either you really pay tribute to it and you play it to a T, or you make it your own. Make sure that it doesn't suck.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. What exactly? How many shows have you guys played actually as a band overall?
Yeah, since 2006, we've been pretty consistent with at least 2 to 3 a year. We've had a couple hiatuses. Being at our age bracket now, we're obviously a little bit older now, and we've had some family members pass away. That's really affected the band, and again, coming back to being a band now, it really is about the love of the music. We don't really have any major goals and tours planned and whatnot. It's really just about 5 middle-aged men who should probably know better. That we get together, we jam, play to have fun. It's a great stress reliever, to kind of get away from the mundane. And we kind of found that, we're really having a lot of fun with this. And so when serious things happen, when life pops up and tells us, it's time to get back to reality, we tend to take a break and let people deal with what they have to deal with on a personal level, whether it's loss of a loved one or, getting married and spending time with loved ones there, So it's good and bad. It's all about reflecting life and its experiences at this point.
Nice. Now, as we just said, you guys, how many members of the band goes back to, what was it, 1995 with you guys, with Absolute Zero and Endless?
Oh, man. Yeah. I definitely want to do a shout-out to Ken James. He was, our rhythm guitarist. To Matt Finley, he was our bassist. So aside from those 2, there's myself, Glenn on drums, and Joe on lead guitar. That was the main core. We also had Jesse Makowitz as the second vocalist. We actually had 2 vocalists at one point. And then we parted ways with Jesse. He went on to join Bad Blood and whatnot later on, as well as some other really cool side projects. And we continued as a 5-piece for a while to about 95, and then we broke up. I moved out to BC. The boys continued on as Gutshot. And then when I got back in 2003, we get in touch. We got together, and as I said, we got together with Graham. Matt was there for a bit, on bass, and he split. And then we got Sean, who joined on bass, and then Graham split, and we're back to a 4-piece again. And then we took a little break with Sean. Sean had stuff to deal with, and then and it was always amicable. That's the thing. Like I said, it really is about guys, friends, just having fun and jamming. So it's just funny how things happen, but really fortunate that there's never been animosity. So in the case of people coming and going, the door's always been open. So finally, we had a shot with Matt again, and Matt left again, believe it or not. And then Sean came back with Graham. I think Graham was actually back in the band on rhythm. So we were finally a 5-piece for a fair amount of time where we can actually get stuff done. And thus finally, finishing off the new stuff and releasing the EP Raging Common. So believe it or not, that process took, almost 7 years, but it was a lot of off and on because, once again, we're just part-time rock stars,
Yeah, you guys, quite a history, as you can see, I just mentioned before that. There's, I wanted to ask you also regarding the bands from the past, which, of course, I'm familiar with. How do you guys, like you say, Gutshot and Bad Blood, was it?
Yeah, Jesse went on. I think he might have been something else. I could be wrong. But his most notable band was Bad Blood. They created a lot of waves, got a lot of attention. Real good band.
Yeah, I've got one of their CDs as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah.
They even had some offers of getting signed here and there. So they made their choices, but they definitely did what they felt was right for the band, and I commend them for it. Much like us at the end, we were true to the art, as best as humanly possible. We had some really weird offers in the past as well, but kind of bending to the will of, let's say a management company who comes up to you and says, we want you to be the next Korn or the Rage Against the Machine, and we're kind of like, but we're not. We're Absolute Zero, and we love those bands, and they're obviously influences, but obviously throughout the '90s, everyone just looked for the next best thing and tried to mold and tailor a lot of young bands to just be a bunch of copycats and doppelgangers, and it just wasn't us,
The Black Cloud Syndicate is actually it's from what I can remember from Absolute Zero and your roots from the past. You guys things are quite different than it was back then for you as a band and all that. And why don't you describe what the Black Cloud Syndicate sounds like now, and why have things changed, and how have things changed musically for you over the years?
Well, that's funny. I mean, yeah, we're different people. We're older. We've gone through different life-changing experiences, so that's changed us. Musically, as usual, I guess tastes change, but thankfully we haven't mellowed out, we haven't got to the point where we're going to create our Black Album, we're still angry, but we're just pissed off for different reasons now, whether it's because we have to pay a mortgage or pay a car payment or pay auto insurance, and make sure our kids have clothing, because most of us are parents now, etc. We're just angry for different things. We're angry at the way the world's been going, and even though here in Canada we're pretty lucky, we're still sheltered. We still have a standard that is slowly being dropped, year by year. So as adults, we're on a different level of rage, a different level of anger. So compared to back then, once again, I think the only difference is that we had goals, we had things we were willing to do, at a moment's notice we can go play a show. Now it's more about being lucky enough to be consistent with rehearsals, getting together and play, even though it is just for fun, we do try to have a bit of structure and, get through a set or whatever, and then have some fun jamming and playing a few problem songs or whatever, and hopefully writing. And as I said, the process in creating Rage in Common took a while because of all those things, of trying to get organized and just get things done. We used to jam 2-3 times a week. Now it's once a week if we're lucky for 2 hours.
Yeah, as long as you guys are able to still do what you do and all that.
Sure. And I guess I said it before, but it comes back down to just now we actually really enjoy what we do. There's no pressure. We don't have anyone to impress except for our friends and family, of course, just to let them know, hey, we're not that bad, because a lot of our friends and family actually don't like metal or aren't really into metal.
Yeah.
A small handful that do, and it's great, and we really value their opinions. And so far, they've been so kind to us, and new friends as well. And even back to what you're saying with the history, it surprises me when I bump into people and they go, oh yeah, I remember Absolute Zero, and we'll talk about it, and they'll talk about when they bought the CD, and I'm just like, wow, that's amazing, that people actually remember us. It feels good, that we at least made even as minimal, of an impact to the scene as possible. We've seen a lot of good bands come and go in this city, and it's surprising that we didn't create. If it wasn't us, it should have been someone else that should have, got signed and actually made it big, and actually can make a living out of it and tour, for forever,
yeah.
until they physically can't do it anymore.